Hi, I'm Shannon here from houseimprovements.com, and in this video today I want to show you a couple different ways to cut soffit panels. So in this case I've got a aluminum soffit panel here. Yours might be vinyl, or maybe you're using wood, but if you're using vinyl or aluminum, there's basically two basic ways that you can cut it. You can use snips, or you can use a circular saw. So the simplest way I'm going to show you is with the snips. So really all you need to do is measure out whatever length of piece that you needed. Use a framing square and just get yourself a straight line to cut. Now once you've cut your pieces, and if you're going to cut multiple pieces, you can use your cutoff as your guide. You know, lay it on here, trace it out. You don't need to use the framing square every time. But basically, if you just have some tin snips or aviation snips, you probably can't see the line, but it doesn't really matter. Obviously, just follow the line. Now, pretty much all the time, your edge pieces here are going to be either in a J channel or covered up with the bottom of the fascia panel, so they don't have to be perfect. And you're probably noticing that this piece looks like it's kind of done that, and that happens quite often with aluminum soffit when you cut in a narrow strip like this, but you can manipulate it to put it back on straight. Okay, so snips, nice and easy, no big deal, no big investment. You know, if you're just doing a little bit, that's really all you need to have with you. Now, if you're going to do quite a bit of this, you may want to make up a jig like what I've got here. I'll just move this so you can kind of see it. So I've made this jig up so that I can use my circular saw for cutting items, siding, soffit, wood panels, that sort of thing. We will have a link in the description of the video, so if you look right below the video, in the description we'll have a link to the video where we built this jig. If you want to check it out, it's pretty handy. I've used it a lot for quite a few things already. So basically the idea is that you have this bed that the material slides on. So you can see my soffit piece just nicely fits in here. I've got a little bit of room to spare, and it'll slide around back and forth and go underneath this guide. The guide screws onto the box. In this case I'm at a 90-degree angle, but you could screw it on any angle that you needed to. The guide is designed for this saw so that these strips here fit on each side of the base of the saw, and they act as a runway for the saw to be able to slide back and forth. And I don't have to concentrate on trying to follow a pencil line or anything. I know once I've got this screwed to the bed at the right angle that I want, in this case 90 degrees, as long as my saw is in that track, I should be making that proper cut every time. Okay, so really simple. I'll just run a piece through here. So you'd measure off your chunk of soffit, put a pencil mark on it. On my guide, I've got this little viewing area here where I can see where my blade's going to cut, so I can slide my piece over till I get my pencil line, measurement line or whatever, lined up in the right spot where the blade is. Now, you really don't have to remove the saw to do that. I was just showing you guys, but anyway, so move it over where you need it to be. Put on your safety gear, because this will be loud. Hold your material, whatever you're cutting, firmly against this fence back here, okay? And then slowly run the saw through it. Now I should mention too that I've got the saw in, or the blade in backwards, okay? So you can see the teeth here pointing down instead of upward, because the blade is going to rotate this way, and it'll just cut a little bit nicer on this material. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we made the cut. You can see here, you know, we've got a nice clean cut. There's a bit of a burr there, but like I said, none of that's going to be seen. Here was the piece that we were presumably going to keep. Same thing. It's a nice clean cut. It isn't all, you know, it isn't all banged up. It isn't twisted up. I used to always snip all my soffits, and lots of people thought I was crazy. I was always afraid it was going to just bang the heck out of the edges of all this material, but it really doesn't by using the saw. So the saw is much quicker. In fact, I've seen guys leave the soffit stacked up in a box and just cut right through the box and everything, but I mean, if you're trying to have a fairly exact measurement, that's a little bit wacky if you ask me. But with this guide, it's really easy to mark out your pieces, slide them through, cut them off. Okay. So hopefully you found this video informative. We do have another video showing how to install soffit and fascia. Like I said earlier, we've got the video showing how to build this jig, and many other videos on our YouTube channel. So in the description below, we're going to have links to all our social media, YouTube, all that stuff, the forum, those sorts of things. So you can check all the links out down there. And like always, I would prefer, if you haven't subscribed already, just click the subscribe button down over there, and then turn on your notifications, and you'll be notified anytime that we post anything. And also give us a big thumbs up. You find that right there too. Thanks a lot.